Welcome to the 2021 Montana Libraries Association Awards. My name is Carly Delcine, and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to your awards committee members. Angela Archuleta, Desiree Funston, Elizabeth Carr, Courtney McHugh, Jody Oberweiser, Roberta Gephardt, Nancy Schmidt, and Jody Smiley. Thank you to our conference steering committee, Hannah McKelvey, Nancy Royan, Sarah Linder Parkinson, Rachel Ron, Alyssa Ramirez, Alana Mueller-Bruckhorst, Christine Call, and Channy Craig, and Brittany Dolezal-Herwig. We'd also like to share our gratitude with Debbie Kramer for coordinating this amazing virtual conference and for all her hard work to make these awards possible. We'd like to extend a special thank you to Doug Kramer and Ava English for creating the beautiful plaques that we will hand out to the winners tonight. The committee and I were so grateful to have so many remarkable people nominated this year and for the support of our stellar MLA board led by Gavin Wolter. A special welcome to our award winners and their supporters. Your exceptional work for libraries is the reason that we are here to celebrate. Thank you. So before we begin the awards presentation, I'm going to turn it over to Bruce Newell, who is the chair of the Montana State Library Commission, and he will be reading the ELSA award winners.
Good evening. Good evening. And it strikes me that we should probably say that ELSA stands for Excellent Library Services Awards. So there we go. Well, here's this resolution was passed by the commission this last Wednesday at their April meeting. Whereas the Montana State Library Commission recognizes the passion, the dedication, and the perseverance library directors, staff, and board members engage in every day. And whereas the State Library Commission celebrates and honors those who have shown their commitment to the community through improving their services and infrastructure. And whereas the Montana State Library Commission acknowledges and celebrates the efforts of libraries in Montana to achieve excellence as defined by the Montana's public library standards. Therefore, let it be resolved that on this date, April 16th, 2021, the State Library Commission confers the 2021 Excellent Library Services Award on the following libraries.
I just want to make sure you actually see my screen where it says ELSA 2021 before you go any farther. You see it? Okay.
It looks good.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Good. It takes a team to do this, folks. Okay, first library is Belgrade Community Library, the Bicentennial Library of Colstrip, the Bitterroot Public Library, the Blaine County Library, Bozeman Public Library, Bridger Public Library, Butte Silverbow Public Library, Carnegie Public Library, Dillon Public Library, Drummond School Community Library, Fallon County Library, Glendive Public Library, Great Falls Public Library. Don't you just want to visit every one of these buildings? This is cool. Harlem Public Library, Harleton Public Library, Jefferson County Library, Boulder, Laurel Public Library, Lewis and Clark Library, Lewistown Public Library, Madison Valley Public Library, Marr County City Library in their brand new building, Medicine Spring Library, Miles City Public Library, Missoula Public Library, and almost in their brand new building, North Lake County Public Library, Phillips County Library, Plains Public Library District, Red Lodge Carnegie Library, Rosebud County Library, Sydney Richland County Library, Stonechild College Library, Twin Bridges Public Library, University of Montana Western Carson Library, Valier Public Library, Wadsworth Memorial Library, and last but certainly not least, the Whitefish Community Library. Thank you all very much for your good work and hard work, and thanks for making it real for your communities.
Okay, so we're going to start the award section of the program. The first award is for the Public Library Program of the Year. This award is conferred on a project, program, or innovation run by a non-school library which has a measurable impact and builds community relationships, expanding current library practice. It's presented by Katie Richmond and awarded to Bilingual Storytime with ASL CAN, Great Falls Public Library, Ray McFadden.
There we go. Hi, I'm Katie. This is Ray.
Hi.
And I nominated Ray because number one, she's amazing. The program is amazing. But the folks that Ray is working with, the folks from ASL CAN stands for Conservatory ASL Northwest. They are a nonprofit organization here in Great Falls that is doing tons of work to bridge the gap between the hearing community and the deaf and hard of hearing community here in Great Falls. Their mission is to help fill in those places where the cultures are not meeting each other here in Great Falls. And unfortunately, our ASL CAN volunteers can't actually be here with us today. But we want to make sure that everybody understands how important they are to this program and what an inspiration they are, of course, with all of their hard work and their willingness to constantly teach us at the library about the deaf and hard of hearing community here in Great Falls. And I nominated Ray and ASL CAN and the program because I was seeing the amazing things that they were doing. They're fulfilling the mission of the library, they're fulfilling the mission of ASL CAN, and they're doing it with such style and such grace, and they did it in a pandemic. We started out with in-person programs, and when everything shut down, they just kept working together and they just kept making story times and they just kept going. And now we have dozens and dozens of story times that are available for anyone to view on the Great Falls Public Library website, or I'm sorry, on our YouTube channel, GFPL Kids Place. And I get to do the part here. I'm gonna tilt this a little bit so everybody can see. I'm gonna hand over the award. Congratulations, Ray. Also, real quick, we are joining you from the O'Hare Motor Inn, home of the Sip and Dip.
And the mermaids.
Yeah, so that we could have someplace that was not a library basement. So we just wanted to let you all know. Anyway, especially because you might hear some noise in the background.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. 2020 was a rough year for programming. And we all struggled to provide meaningful events and activities for our communities, despite relentless and unpredictable changes. But the challenges imposed by COVID pushed us out of our comfort zones. But the libraries are nothing if not ever-changing, adaptive, and innovative. And the result was a great diversity of programs, including the craft kits and the story walks that we heard about today, that provided Montana communities with literacy, cultural, and recreational activities during a very, very challenging time that meant a lot to our patrons. We have a lot to be proud of, and we have lots of new skills to take with us into the post-COVID era. Conservatory ASL Northwest, which is ASL CAN, aims to bring together deaf and hearing communities through American Sign Language. And I have been fortunate enough to work with Amanda Fudge, her family, and a huge group of dedicated and talented volunteers over the course of our bilingual storytime collaboration. So there is so much gratitude to go around. I'd like to thank Gabby, Asia, Ellie, Nathaniel, and Jojo Fudge for their fantastic, absolutely irresistible last minute story times. They're amazing. To Hollis Fudge for finding the time to share a story through renovating their new ASL CAN center. To Suzette and Amy for stepping out of their comfort zones. To Sharon Dennison for bringing Llama Llama to life. To Donna for the wintertime fun, and to Anna Hasland, Miss Montana, for sharing her heart and her hands. To Denise Stewart for bringing tears to our eyes with her powerful storytelling. To Antigone and Angelina for poise and professionalism far beyond their years. To Black Devia artist Takia Harris for turning our little videos into art. To Justine Clifford from the Montana School for the Deaf and Blind for sharing storytelling with her class as well as with ASL CAN and with our library patrons. To Sean Tulloch, the program manager for deaf services in the Disability, Employment, and Transition Division of the Montana Department of Health and Human Services, for sharing feedback that helped us to better prioritize deaf viewers. To Stacey Lawrence, director of the ASL CAN Film Camp, for pro editing tips. To Katie Richmond from the Great Falls Public Library, PR and adult programming specialist, for helping me figure out social media over and over and over again. To Katie and to Susie McIntyre, Great Falls Public Library Director, for being so sneaky when they nominated this program for the award. To Wayne State University for half of a degree in bilingual bicultural education. I finally used it. And finally, thank you to Amanda Fudge for her determination in problem solving, her superhuman time management skills, empathy, intuitive communication across communities and cultures. Thank you for reaching out to partner with the library and for the pep talks. This has been one of the most amazing experiences of my professional life, and I am so grateful to have worked with her on this project. And lastly, thank you to everyone I forgot to mention for your forgiveness.
Yay. Yeah, we've got some other Great Falls Public Library folks here, so
Yes.
very brief. Very brief. They're eating. I'll go ahead and mute us now.
Thank you and congratulations. The next award we have is Outstanding Support Staff Member. This award is conferred upon a Montana Library Support Staff employee in recognition of outstanding service to the library profession and excellence in their job performance. It is presented by Hannah McKelvey and awarded to Mary Guthmiller, MSU Bozeman.
Thanks, Carly. Hi, everyone, and good evening. I am honored to be here to present the Outstanding Support Staff of the Year award to my friend and colleague, Mary Guthmiller. Mary has served Montana State University and the Montana library community as the program manager for interlibrary loan for over 21 years. And throughout her career, Mary has worked to build one of the most popular, well-utilized, and highest quality services offered by the MSU Library. I'm going to quote Pamela Benjamin here, as she actually helped contribute to Mary's nomination letter, and she has very succinctly summarized Mary's role. Mary is the kind of person who keeps libraries ticking efficiently and makes it all appear seamless. It is a privilege to work with someone of Mary's caliber. All of us at the MSU Library are so glad to see Mary being recognized for her hard work and dedication to libraries here tonight. Now, for those of you that know Mary, you may know that she's a very avid bowler, and unfortunately, she couldn't be here with us this evening, so I have a few words to share on her behalf. Sorry I couldn't make it, trying to get my first 600 series of the year in Friday Night League bowling. I'm humbled by this recognition and express gratitude to my colleagues for nominating me and to the awards committee for selecting me for this honor. Interlibrary Loan is a collaboration with colleagues from around the world, and I couldn't do it without all of them. Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, so the next award is the Jane Lopp Trustee of the Year Award. This award is conferred to acknowledge achievement and leadership of a library trustee through their service at the local, state, and national library level in the interests of and the advancement of library services. It is presented by Connie Behe and awarded to Al Logan of Imagine If Library Board Trustee.
Hello. Excuse me. I wasn't talking for a few minutes. Now I'm froggy. I'm happy to present this award to Al, who was appointed to the board, the library board at Imagine If Libraries in July 1st, 2011, when we were at that time still the Flathead County Library System. He's been with us through so many things, from changing our organization over the years to becoming Imagine If Libraries in 2014. And he brings with him, I feel like it's a rare combination, but I just don't know that many CPAs, I guess. But Al is extremely outgoing and extroverted, and he also has a fine and keen eye for our financial statements and even for things like typos and stuff in our work. So I'm like, how can he be so detail oriented and so fun to be around at the same time? So his former career as a CPA and financial investment consultant has really helped us a lot with our finances and budget. He has a real passion for the mission and support for staff that comes through all the time. All of the people on our staff know that Al is there for them. I will say Kim Crowley our previous director, wrote a letter of nomination for Al, and I like the way that she described him here at the end. She said he's heavily involved in libraries at the local and state levels, all while remaining even-keeled, objective, involved, willing to put in the work, and lots of fun. I think that describes Al very well. He's lots of fun. Let me show you your award here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Al, for your service. So Al will finish his second term. He will have been with the library for 10 years.
Yes. Well, Connie, thank you very much. When you first mentioned this to me, as you know, I'm not often speechless, but I was kind of caught off guard and was somewhat speechless. But it's a totally unexpected honor to be named the Jane Lopp Trustee of the Year, because Jane was a great mentor to me when I was first appointed in 2011 to be a trustee. Jane had become a good friend and is sorely missed, and obviously remembered fondly, I think, not only by us, but most of the libraries and throughout the state. I was encouraged, really maybe forced, to hit the ground running when Kim Crowley, then director of the Flathead County Libraries, recommended that we all become certified trustees. And all of us were supported in that effort by the state library staff, including Jenny Stapp, Tracy Cook, and Joe Fleck. Tremendous programs. And in fact, seeing the people today, all the friendly faces of friends I've made over the years, Ann Kish and I were recruited to become actors, movie stars, or whatever, and to try to get more trustees to become certified. To give a little bit of a background, my wife, who is sitting here in the wings, is I grew up in a very small town in Oregon that did not have a public library. I did spend a lot of time in my high school library, however, because that's where I was sent for detention, which sometimes was fairly frequent, but the librarian did put me on to reading a lot of interesting books. It's been an ongoing challenge and pleasure to serve on an extremely effective and diverse board made up of people with varying backgrounds. The cultural changes in library services, which led to the rebranding of the library as Imagine If, continue to yield rich rewards for our communities. For the past 8 years, I've been closely involved with the effort to enlarge the Big Fork branch of Imagine If, and which has not been an easy task, but we now have the foundation has acquired a building, And under the leadership of Charlotte Housel, and with the support of many volunteers, including our board and library staff, we are now getting close to our capital campaign goal of $1.6 million to complete that project. I just wish it would have been able to have been finished by the time I was off the board. I will, of course, continue to contribute to that effort. With Connie Behe's leadership and the current staff that we have running Imagine If Library and the board of directors, very competent board that we have, I see no problem in this library continuing to be one of the great libraries of the state. I've also enjoyed working with Honor with regard to the Tamarack Federation. So I can't believe that it's been 10 years, but I think have accomplished quite a bit. I didn't realize that I had made a contribution to the extent that I would receive this award tonight. Thank you very much.
Woohoo!
So Jenny, you have your hand raised. Did you want to talk or are you just supportive?
Can I say something? I would love to. Al, congratulations. You're so deserving. I really just want to recognize Jane too. We've, as time goes by, I don't know that everybody knows who Jane was. And I remember the time that we were meeting with Representative Frank Garner and Jane arranged a meeting where he would carry the legislation that would support the legislation that created the state aid funding for public libraries. And she had us meet with Frank Garner and introduced the topic to him, and Nanette Gilbertson and John Finn and I met with Representative Garner and Jane and explained the legislation to him, and he sort of said, yeah, I'll carry that legislation. And Nanette and I both said, well, we'll follow up with you and make sure you have the information that you need, and you can think about it and just let us know. And Jane looked at me and she said, he said yes. And that was it. He said yes, and he carried that legislation so ably, and it passed. And that was the kind of person that Jane was. And Al, that's the kind of person you are. You're so ably leading that library and making sure that everything that Imagine If does is pointed towards the 21st century. And we just really can't thank you and that board enough. And to have you honored in Jane's memory like that is just so well deserving.
Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure to work with you and the State Library and the Commission. It's just been a great experience for 10 years.
Congratulations, Al. So our next award is the Sheila Cates Librarian of the Year Award. This award is conferred upon a librarian in recognition of outstanding leadership and accomplishment in library service. It is presented by Ann Kish and awarded to Janelle Zuha.
Good evening. My name is Ann Kish, and it's my pleasure this evening to introduce Jan Zuha, the recipient of the prestigious Sheila Cates Librarian of the Year Award. It's impossible for me to briefly summarize all of the accomplishments and contributions that Jan has made to the world of librarianship, because there's a whole huge stack of accomplishments and contributions. I couldn't possibly even begin. And I am truly impressed by Jan's extensive body of work. But that isn't why I nominated her for this award. I nominated her because she's the quintessential champion of our discipline. of our profession. She works to lift up those of us who need guidance in our professional growth. And she does this through formal leadership roles frequently, but she also works informally behind the scenes, always building up and promoting colleagues, students, anyone who enters her orbit. I know this because I've watched her doing it for many years and I've heard lots of things about it, but I can positively attest to Jan's propensity for mentorship because she hired me for my first librarian job many years ago. I was in dire need of lots of wise counsel, and I was very lucky to meet Jan in that time. And it's not just me. She does it for so many people. It's helping people is simply her way of being in the world. I wish I could see a story map of the state of Montana. I have it in my head. It would be filled with all of Jan's dots of influence, whether the dots would be people, initiatives she's led, projects she's furthered. It would just be a map covered in dots, and every single one of them a testament to why Jan is our Sheila Cates Librarian of the Year.
Well, Anne, thank you for making me cry. No, I cannot tell you. I think these should be called the MLA Stealth Awards because the way that I heard about this, I was leaving the library probably early. I was walking out on the loading dock and I saw my dean, Kenning Arlich, who is, I think, in this session. And he said, "Did you hear about MLA?" And I said, "Oh my God, no, what happened?" Because I thought maybe MLA had blown up or something. And he said, no, you're being given an award. And I said, no. And he said, yes, you are. And when he told me, I said, no, that can't be true. And I honestly, I don't even know what to say. I feel so absolutely touched and honored by this. And especially, and by the things that you said, because I do these things that I do because I love the state of Montana and I love the people I work with and I love being a librarian. And it has been truly the joy of my life to be in this profession and to be here, especially in Montana. My work has taken me, I've had contact with librarians in so many other states through PNLA and through ALA. And I am always saying, my God, it's so good to be a Montana librarian because we are always so glad to work together. We are always so glad to see each other and to just help each other. And I think that is really the meaning of life. So I'm so honored. And I want to thank everybody in the world. And I don't know where to start, and I would forget people. My siblings are on this call and they have helped me, as they know, all my life, but especially in the past 2 years, since I lost my husband, and just through this pandemic and everything. It's been, for everyone, it has been such a turmoil, but I have always turned back to the fact that we have meaningful work and we are so fortunate. And I thank the people who, and I thank you for nominating me, for the people who wrote letters for me. And I really am just so surprised by this and so touched. And I just, I don't know what else to say. So I'll stop so that you can all have some drink and food. I do want to thank my 2 colleagues who are here with me, who came over because they have been vaccinated, and I let them in the door and they brought me champagne and this tiara, and I just feel very blessed. So thank you to everybody and to my friends who joined in as well. Thank you.
Yay.
As our 2021 award ceremony draws to a close, let's give a final round of applause in the chat, or if you want to unmute and applaud, please do. And congratulations and appreciation of our winners and their families.
Yes, please unmute
Thank you.
yourselves.
Hey, Jan.
Yay, everybody. Yay, everybody. Do we get to hang out now and actually talk to people?
Yes, I am going to stop the recording, and if you want to hang out and visit amongst yourselves, have at it.